If you're over 60, this one healthy exercise could silently raise your risk of a joint rupture while you work out. No warning, no pain. Just one moment you're fine, and the next you feel a pop in your back, your knee buckles, or your balance is gone. As a geriatric physical therapist, I've seen far too many older adults go through this, and not because of smoking, poor diet, or lack of exercise, but because of something they thought was helping. Exercises. Yes, really, exercises. Every day, millions of seniors hit the gym, hoping to protect their bones, boost their energy, or keep their memory sharp. And while many do help, some, especially in high doses or done with the wrong form, can quietly put your body in danger. Today, I want to walk you through 5 common exercises that may increase your risk of joint failure, nerve damage, or blood pressure spikes, especially during the morning hours when your body is most vulnerable. If you've ever done long-distance cardio, deep stretching, heavy lifting, HIIT, or weekend warrior sports, this video might just save your health. Before we begin, I'd love to know, have you ever questioned whether your exercises could be doing harm? Type 1 in the comments if you're curious to learn more. Type 0 if this is all new to you. And if joint health matters to you or someone you love, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Health 365 for honest, science-backed tips made especially for older adults. Now, let's start with the most surprising one of all: long-distance cardio, running. What you don't know about it could turn a good workout into a dangerous one. You've probably heard that it's good for your heart, your mood, even your endurance, and that's all true, in moderation. But here's something most seniors are never told. Too much running, especially on hard pavement, can quietly raise your risk of joint destruction. I know that sounds shocking, but I've seen it with my own patients. Take Mr. Walter, for example, a 74-year-old retired Navy vet. He was sharp, disciplined, and took his health seriously. Every morning, like clockwork, he went for a run, logging 10K because he'd done it all his life. He believed he was protecting his heart. But what he didn't realize was that this simple routine was slowly pushing his body toward a silent disaster. One morning, his wife found him unable to get out of bed. His knee was swollen to the size of a grapefruit. He couldn't put weight on his leg. A torn meniscus. During the run, his scans showed dangerously thin cartilage, inflamed joints, and ligament instability. The culprit: chronic impact overload. You see, when you do high-impact exercise, especially without proper recovery, it causes microdamage to build up in your joints. Your cartilage thins, becoming brittle and narrow. And guess where that can lead? Bone-on-bone contact, straight to your knee. As we get older, our joints naturally lose flexibility. Add in improper form, stiff shoes, and impact loading, and you've created a perfect storm for joint failure. The scariest part, there are no warning signs. You go to bed feeling fine and wake up with your life forever changed. And here's something you may not know. Many beginner running programs contain far more mileage than older adults actually need. 5 miles, 10 miles. People run these every day thinking more is better. But studies show that even 2 miles daily may be too much if you don't have sufficient muscle support. Let me say this clearly. If you're running, especially along with joint issues, it is crucial to get your footwear and form checked regularly, and always do it after a warm-up, not cold. Do you know how many miles you run? Type "run" in the comments if you're running right now. Let's open the conversation, and if this made you think twice, give this video a like to help others find it too. Now, if that surprised you, just wait. The next exercise is one many people take for flexibility, but in older adults, it can lead to something even more dangerous than a clot, a ruptured disc. Let's talk about deep static stretching. Deep stretching, often called the flexibility helper. If you've been doing it for years, you're not alone. Many people over 60 add deep stretching to their routine, hoping it'll support their back, improve circulation, maybe even reduce pain. But here's the part that doesn't make it onto the yoga mat label. Too much deep stretching, especially when combined with age-related stiffness, can increase your risk of nerve damage or a herniated disc. Yes, even if you're doing everything right. Let me share a story I'll never forget. Mrs. Evelyn Brooks, 81, a retired librarian from Ohio. She was sharp, witty, and always had a book in hand. She had mild arthritis, and her doctors monitored everything closely. Her blood work was fine, her pressure was stable. But one day she saw an ad in a magazine for deep yoga for beginners. "I thought it would help my flexibility and circulation," she told me. 3 weeks later, she was rushed to the ER with a terrible backache, numbness down her leg, and an inability to walk. An MRI showed a herniated disc crushing a nerve, not because of high blood pressure, not because of a fall, but because the combination of age-related water loss in her discs and aggressive deep stretching, forward folding, had made her spine too thin to clot. Error in original logic, corrected, had made her spine too vulnerable to rupture. Just one fragile structure in her back gave way. Here's what most people don't realize. Deep static stretching, especially cold, puts immense pressure on your discs. If you're already on error in original logic, corrected. If you already have arthritis, osteoporosis, or any spinal instability, and then add deep stretching, your risk of nerve damage quietly goes up, especially in the low back, where even a small bulge can steal your ability to walk, stand, or sit without pain. And get this, the recommended practice for older adults is dynamic stretching, movement. Yet most gym classes contain 2, 4, even 10 minutes of static stretch-to-pain holds. No warnings, no consultations, and many folks take them every day for years. Mrs. Evelyn survived, but she now walks with a cane. Her ability to sit was never quite the same. She told me through tears, "I just wanted to help myself. I didn't know I was doing harm." And that's the part that breaks my heart, because she's not alone. So many seniors think if it's an exercise, it must be safe. But the truth is, not every exercise is safe, especially when you're on error in original logic, corrected. Especially when you have pre-existing back or joint issues. You must talk to your physical therapist before adding anything new. Now, if the idea of a disc herniation wasn't scary enough, there's another exercise people take for bone density and energy that can quietly damage your nerves, and sometimes permanently. Let's talk about heavy weightlifting, ego lifting. Heavy lifting, the one often labeled as a bone builder. You might have seen it in those gyms claiming to help with energy or even memory. And maybe someone even told you it's good for aging bones. But here's what most seniors are never warned about. Too much heavy lifting, especially with bad form, can actually damage your nerves, sometimes permanently. Let me tell you about Mr. Harold Jenkins. He was 76, a retired truck driver from Kansas. He came into my office because his feet felt numb, his hands tingled, and his balance was off. At first, he thought it was just age. Then he started falling. First once, then again. The third time, he hit his head on the bathroom floor. When I reviewed his workout program, I spotted the issue right away. He'd been on a strength program for over a year. The program promised bone density and power. But inside each workout was a 100 kilos, 220 sunbeater bench press. And he was doing it twice a week. That's way over the recommended safe upper limit for seniors. Now, here's the scary part. Unlike simple fatigue, which passes, the damage from heavy lifting builds up in your system over time. And in older adults, it can compress a nerve exiting the spine, like stepping on a garden hose. The result? Tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, tremors, even confusion or memory issues. What's worse, the symptoms creep in slowly. Many people think it's arthritis or aging or early dementia, but really it could be nerve compression, a slow, preventable kind of nerve damage caused by a pill. Error in original logic, corrected, caused by an exercise meant to help. And it can be permanent if not caught early. Mr. Jenkins was lucky. We stopped the heavy lifting, and the damage didn't get worse, but he still uses a cane. He doesn't drive anymore. He told me, "I just wanted to protect my bones. I didn't realize I was crushing my nerves." Let's be clear. Strength training is important, but in very correct doses. Older adults need weight they can control, with perfect form. But many strength programs sold online or in gyms contain max effort lifts. That's not just unnecessary, it's dangerous. So, if you're doing any exercise that says strength, bone, or power, check your form, know your limits, and type lift in the comments if you've done an exercise like that. Or know someone who has. Now you might be thinking, at least some exercises like HIIT must be safe. It's just for endurance, right? Well, not exactly. Let's talk about HIIT, high-intensity interval training. If you're like most older adults, you've probably heard that HIIT is essential for rejuvenation. Maybe you've even taken it for your metabolism or because someone said it helps you age gracefully. But here's what almost no one tells you, especially if you're over 60. Too much HIIT hits suddenly, and over time it can increase your blood pressure, mimicking a stroke, damaging your vision. Error in original logic, corrected, damaging your blood vessels, and even affecting your brain. Let me tell you about Miss Dorothy Simmons. She was 79, a retired piano teacher from Oregon. She loved music and took pride in staying independent. But one day, she started getting headaches. Then came the blurred vision. Then the dizziness and the slurred speech. Her family feared the worst, a stroke. But when we ran her scans, something surprising showed up. No clot, no bleeding. Instead, she had dangerously high blood pressure. Tiny veins in her brain were under stress. The cause? A hypertensive crisis triggered by HIIT. She'd been on a high-intensity fat-burning program for over 5 weeks, pushing to her max heart rate every day without realizing it. Here's the key difference. HIIT is anaerobic stress. That means your body explodes with energy, and as we age, our blood vessels get stiffer, so that pressure builds up even faster. When there's too much sudden load on the heart, it can lead to a condition called hypertensive encephalopathy. The symptoms: headaches, blurred or double vision, dizziness, nausea, even permanent vision loss or cognitive decline. The tricky part, many beginner programs, but some people like Ms. Dot, unknowingly add sprints on top. The safe upper limit for seniors is roughly brisk walking or light jogging, and that's only if needed under medical supervision. But many programs sold online contain max effort or more, taken daily for months or years. Error in original logic, corrected. Done daily for weeks, it's easy to see how the damage builds up. Ms. Dot is slowly recovering, but she now needs regular eye exams, pressure checks, and balance therapy. She told me, "I thought I was doing something good for my body. I never imagined it could hurt my brain." And that's why I share her story, because it's not about scaring anyone. It's about making sure you have the facts so you can protect yourself and your independence. Now, if you thought HIIT was risky, wait until you hear what happens when an exercise meant for activity and heart health suddenly spikes your blood pressure. Let's talk about the weekend warrior, e.g., tennis, soccer, an exercise you might have taken for your heart. The weekend warrior, also known as social sports. It's often praised as a natural way to stay active. Some doctors even recommend it. But here's what's often left out of the conversation, especially for older adults. This pattern, sit then explode, can quietly cause serious swings in your blood pressure and even trigger a stroke. Let me introduce you to Mr. Frank Miller. He's 82, a retired postman from Florida. He came to see me with a strange mix of symptoms: hot flashes in his face, a pounding sensation in his chest, dizziness that came and went every Saturday night. His wife thought it was anxiety. His son blamed it on his blood pressure meds, but the real cause, something no one had thought to check. Dennis played tennis. He sat all Sunday, Friday. And on Saturday, 3 hours of hard tennis. He was doing it once a week. That's a complete lack of consistency, which is what most seniors actually need. Here's what happens when you go from zero activity to max activity. It causes your blood vessels to suddenly expand. But shortly after, those same vessels snap back. That sudden load can raise your blood pressure, stress your heart, and reduce blood flow to your brain. Over time, this yo-yo effect is like tapping a hammer on fragile glass. Eventually, something gives. Dennis had what's called a transient ischemic attack, or TIA, a mini-stroke. His speech slurred for 2 minutes, then returned. He thought it was a fluke. I had to tell him the hard truth. His weekly game, meant to help his heart, was quietly harming his brain. And he's not alone. Many seniors are weekend warriors without even realizing it. They think it's safer. But even these sports can still raise blood pressure, trigger atrial fibrillation, and affect blood sugar levels. Here's what you need to know. For older adults, any activity should be consistent and moderate. And if you have high blood pressure, heart rhythm issues, or are on medication, please talk to your doctor. Dennis is now walking daily. He's recovering. No permanent damage. But he told me something I won't forget. "Doc, I thought I was doing everything right. I didn't know I was gambling with my brain." So, now that we've walked through 5 common exercises, each with the power to quietly harm the body, you might be asking, what should I do instead? Or better yet, how should I move? Let's talk about real movement, the kind that protects your body without the risks. By now, you might be wondering, if these exercises can be risky, what should I do instead? It's a great question because the truth is, your body wasn't designed to run on machines. It was built to thrive on real movement, whole, natural, variation-rich movement that your body recognizes and performs in just the right amounts. Let me tell you about Mrs. Margaret Wilson. She's 73, a retired school principal from Arizona. When I first met her, she pulled out training plans: running for bones, HIIT for heart, heavy lifting for energy, tennis for cholesterol, and a few others for brain support. "I'm doing everything right, Doc," she said. But she was feeling dizzy in the mornings. Her balance was off. Her blood pressure kept climbing. Something wasn't adding up. So, we did something radical. We cleared the clutter. One by one, we took away the plans and replaced them with movement. No magic diet, no fancy program. Just simple, whole movements at the right time in the right combinations. Here's what her morning looked like. 10 minutes of gentle neck and spine mobilization. 10 bodyweight squats to a chair. Slow, steady energy. A 5-minute walk outside. 1 minute of single-leg balance practice. Sometimes she added a few walnuts. Error in original logic, corrected. Sometimes she added a bit of gardening. That's it. No powders, no pills, just movement. Real, recognizable, nourishing. Within just a few weeks, Maggie noticed a difference. Her dizziness faded. Her blood pressure stabilized. Her energy returned. And she told me her mind felt clearer than it had in years. Here's why it worked. Your body needs mobility, stability, consistent fuel, and micro-movements in their natural form. It doesn't need mega doses. It needs balance. Some of the best movements for older adults include daily walking, Tai Chi or Qigong for balance and joint protection, gardening or light housework for reducing inflammation, bodyweight exercises, squats, wall push-ups for bone and muscle health, swimming to support circulation without the impact. And remember, these movements don't just protect your joints, they support your heart, bones, mood, and mobility, too. You're not just exercising, you're healing with every move. Final wake-up call. Awareness is the best medicine. At this stage in life, every choice matters more. And the truth is, it's not the exercises you do, but what you understand about them that truly protects you. Your body at 60, 70, or 80 doesn't process exercise stress the same way it did decades ago. Even well-meaning habits like exercising can quietly backfire if you're not careful. That's why awareness is your most powerful medicine. You don't need to fear exercise, but you do need to respect it. Check your form, ask your physical therapist, and listen to your body, especially when it whispers. If any part of this video spoke to you, tell me in the comments. What's one change you'll make starting tomorrow? If you found this helpful, give it a like to help others find it too. And please subscribe to Health 365 so we can keep learning, growing, and staying strong together. You're not alone on this journey, and you're never too old to take back control of your health.